Hey, what's going on, my fellow collectors? Jim here with another figure review. Today, let's check out the Bandai Dragon Ball Super Dragon Stars. This is Frieza Final Form. This is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while. I just can never find it. So when I finally came across it the other day, I had to pick it up. The packaging is basically what we've seen with the Dragon Ball Super Dragon Stars series. Now, I only have one other figure from this line, and that is the Beerus. But, personally, I think the Beerus and the Frieza are the better looking figures out of this series. Even though there's nothing wrong with the other ones, but personally, I've wanted to pick these up for the collection. I've, really haven't had the desire to pick anybody else up. We do have a nice image on the side here. And you can collect and connect the Shenron if you, pick them all up. So, it's a much cheaper way to pick up, all of these and build a nice little Shenron than, buying SH Figuarts versions of all the characters or even buying the SH Figuarts Shenron. So, I mean, it is a nice little route to go, and they are cheaper. But bottom of the packaging, top of the packaging, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and crack this open and take a close. Okay, and here he is out of the packaging, and this is a really cool figure. I mean, yeah, I have some gripes here and there. There's some looseness in the joints, but overall, for the $20 price point that it comes in at, $22, it is a nice Frieza for the shelf. Taking a look at the Shenron Collect and Connect figure that does come with this, it's done okay. The paint isn't as clean and there's not a lot of shading, but for what it is, it's got some nice sculpt to it. This one actually has this, feet on here, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the Shenron piece. As far as accessories, we do get the two fists that come on him. We get two, open hands. And these are done actually really nice. We get nice kind of blue shading all throughout this figure, but we even have the fingernails painted in and nice sculpt on the palms. And then we do have one pointing finger, which again is done really nice. Again, we get that nice shading, and again we get the painted fingernails. So very, very cool. Let's take a closer look at Frieza, and I mean, overall, I think they did a really nice job on this figure. We get really, really nice metallic purple for all of these parts of Frieza. It really does look good, and it pops. Really clean paint on the eyes and like the lines that come down the eyes. And then we get this awesome, bluish shading all throughout this figure. It just really looks good and really makes the figure pop. I do like that. We get a very kind of dull whitish pearl for the entire, very kind of glossy look to it. But I mean, it looks really good at the end of the day. It looks awesome. I really, really like it. We get nice kind of muscle definition, and then we do get that nice shading all throughout, the muscles, and even down here. A little bit sloppy down here on the, like the bottom parts of the foot there. And then we do have his crazy feet. And we do get painted toenails again. And I mean, again, we get that blue shading in there. So they definitely hooked the shading up even at the bottom. Really nice job on shading this figure up. Really good job. Even on the back of the figure. And we do have the tail, which does have a little bit of articulation. I mean, it basically swivels. There is a hinge, but, you don't really get too much out of that hinge. I mean, you really only get about that much, because of course you're just going to end up, crashing. But it's nice movement, and then again we get swivel here at this part of the tail. But I mean, the tail is pretty much sculpted in this, so there's no articulation within the tail as far as just, swiveling the whole piece, and you can hinge the whole piece and swivel right here. But I mean, it does look really good. And I really like the purple that they added on all of these parts. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool looking Frieza figure, and the articulation is not too bad on it either. I am noticing some looseness already, like it's kind of loose and floppy here at the knee joints because I've already used it a couple times. And the head's a little bit disappointing too. You think with it being such a big head you would get nice movement on the ball, but you really don't. I mean, you can't get it to look up at all. That is it. You're not going to get any more up than that. So that's a little bit disappointing. You do get down a little bit, but not much, only about that much. So I mean, that's about the range of movement you get with the head. Of course, you do get swivel. You don't really get any side to side. And I don't think the neck moves as well. It looks like it might move, but it doesn't seem like mine wants to turn. So you know, definitely could be better with the head movement. As far as the arms, you do have a shift up and down, and then that will hinge up really nice. So you get really nice movement out of that hinge. Of course, that swivels all the way around. You do have bicep rotation in there. You got double joints at the elbow, so it gives you nice range with that. And then we have ball hinges for the wrist, so that's awesome. So you can, you know, swivel and hinge. And then there's really nothing in the diaphragm at all. You basically just get movement at the waist, and that's basically a twist. You get a little bit of side to side. You get no front and back. You do have a drop down for the legs, so that's pretty cool. But I mean, it doesn't really allow you for too much, you know, forward and back. It does kick out because of the sculpt, but you do get rotation around that. You have double jointed knees. And then again, we get ball hinges again for the feet. So nice movement with the feet. You can bring it back, bring it forward, you know, full rotation, and you could technically get a rocker out of that as well. There is a rocker on that. So I mean, overall, I think it's really nice. And then of course, you know, the tail does have the swivel and the hinge. And as far as popping the hands on and off, it's pretty easy. It's a pretty big little mushroom on there. I haven't had too many issues, you know, interchanging the hands at all. Besides, sometimes the hinge does want to move on you, but it'll pretty much pop in there. So that is awesome. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a really nice Frieza, and it's going to look good up on your shelf within your, you know, with your other Dragon Ball Z figures. As far as a height, it looks like to the top of the head, it's a little under 5¼ inches tall. And as far as a comparison with the other, you know, Dragon Stars Bandai Beerus figure that I have, you know, they look good next to each other. And then with an SH Figuarts, this is the Super Saiyan Awakening Warrior Goku. You know, they look good on the shelf amongst each other. Frieza might be a little bit on the short side, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's an awesome figure for the price point. Besides a couple articulation issues, I think overall it is a great looking figure. You know, the articulation's not too bad. It has gotten really floppy on me the more I've been kind of messing with it and kind of posing it around. But, I mean, we get nice movement. You know, I do like the route they took with the articulation. And we do get a couple different hands. So, I mean, it's going to make an awesome... It's definitely a nice Frieza to put up on the shelf if you do not have the SH Figuarts version, without a doubt. But yeah, guys, that was a look at the Bandai Dragon Stars Frieza. That is the review. Thank you so much for watching as I try to get Frieza standing here. Come on now. But yeah, that is a review. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next figure review. Take care.